This here's the Bouse Guide to Illidan. You're welcome. So, my friends, let's cut to the chase. When you pick Illidan, you are in for a hell of a ride. This hero erases the very notion of escape from the minds of its enemies, does more flips in one game than a burger patty at your local McDonald's does in its lifetime, and casually flies across the map at ludicrous speeds to wreck his enemies on a regular basis. Looks like just another Tuesday for Illidan. Alright, starting off, let's go over some skills and tips. Your first ability, Dive, flips over enemies, landing on the other side of them and slows the target during the flip. Now, the damage on this ability is lower than auto attack, so this should only be used to catch up to enemies and land more auto attacks if they are getting away, or to slow them down for allies trying to catch up. This ability is also great if Illidan ever wanted to go into men's gymnastics. Just look at that perfect form and those excellent landings. Your second ability, Sweeping Strike, dashes towards a location and does damage to everything you hit along the way, and it also boosts the damage of your basic attacks for a couple seconds after you use it. This ability is great for initiating onto your target because it gets you right up into their face and powers up your auto attacks. Your third ability, Evasion, allows you to dodge enemy basic attacks for a few seconds. This ability is best right after you go in because it will block a fair amount of damage coming at you, and it's especially great for shedding minion, mercenary, and tower damage. Now, your last and ultimate ability is the Hunt. The other one sucks and doesn't matter. Just kidding. Or not. This ability allows Illidan to charge towards the target from a great distance across the map, stuns and deals significant damage upon impact. With this ability, you can freely split push, do mercenary camps, do whatever across the map, and still be ready to jump into a gank, a conflict, or a team fight at any time. You can even use the Hunt to escape quickly from a bad situation. Lastly, your trait. This gives you a percentage of health back as well as reduces the cooldown timer of all of your abilities after every attack. Cause you know, cooling down for Illidan means repeatedly smashing his blades into his opponents. How therapeutic. This is a significant cooldown reduction and allows you to spam all of your basic abilities and use your ultimate ability freely as long as you keep finding things to attack. Alright, now on to talents. At level 1, get Shadow Shield. This will give you the little bit of durability you really need. At level 4, go for Immolation. The burn damage is a great boost to your overall damage and also allows you to wipe out minions and mercenaries so much faster. Level 7, First Aid allows you to heal through fights and stay in the field without needing to go back. Level 10, the Hunt. Enough said. Next, get Giant Killer. The damage increase is just too good. At 16, go for Blood for Blood. This is a very strong slow, heal, and damage ability. Level 20, get Nowhere to Hide. Easy. Now, on to gameplay. Early game, focus on getting lane experience, but if fights present themselves, don't hesitate to engage. But only when you have even numbers or a numbers advantage. You want to be the wolf pack rather than the lone wolf. Capitalize on opportunities that present themselves, like a low health enemy scattering off after a team fight, instead of trying to initiate and create plays. Illidan can make sure that no enemies escape from fights because of his amazing mobility. When engaging, start off with your W Sweeping Strike ability to get right up next to them, and then activate your Evasion to shrug off some damage and then auto attack them as much as possible. Use your Q Dive ability if they are getting away or if you need to slow them down for allies to catch up. Anytime you use your dive ability, you have to be mindful of where you're going to land afterwards. If you land out of position or in the middle of an enemy group accidentally, it's going to mean death. Outside of fights, Illidan is amazing at clearing mercenary camps, and starting at level 4, you can solo Siege Giants, and at level 7, you can solo the Knights camp. Now on to the mid game. During the mid game, you should be focusing on doing mercenary camps, split pushing, and doing objectives. It's pointless and wasteful to be roaming around with your team looking for fights, because the Hunt ability will allow you to jump into any team fight or engagement from afar. This ability is what makes Illidan so powerful in the mid and late game. Just be mindful of how far away from the fight you are, especially if you suspect a team fight brewing. And be ready to jump into the fight on a half health enemy or a high priority target. During team fights, focus down one enemy at a time, start off with Sweeping Strike into Evasion and then auto attacks. Save your dive for if your target moves out of attack range, if you need the slow, or if you need to flip away to a minion and escape. Do not use it for the damage. It's weak and auto attacks do more. Use your first aid the moment you start taking damage rather than after you have taken a lot of damage, because it is a heal over time. Outside of team fights, keep one eye on the minimap, especially after small engagements, for isolated, low health fleeing enemies. These are free kills for Illidan with the Hunt. Also, don't be afraid to use the Hunt to simply get to mercenary camps or to another lane, as long as no fights are imminent, because cooldowns are nothing to Illidan. Now, on to late game. This plays much like mid game, but be extremely careful about getting picked off, since you'll want to roam around alone most of the time to do objectives, mercenary camps, or pushed lanes. Constantly be aware of the minimap and where team fights may occur so that you are ready to jump onto high priority targets like a squishy specialist, assassin, or even a tanky warrior. Just make sure again that you are not initiating a team fight with the Hunt, because you always want to arrive fashionably late. Follow up and jump in right after the initiation and pick off opponents one by one. And using blood for blood on a tanky hero can give you a ton of health back instantly, so that you can keep on destroying your enemies. And with that, you're ready to go out there, dazzle your teammates, and wreck your enemies, because that's what BalancedBreakfast is all about.